Hello and welcome to round 8 of Pro Tour Magic 2015. It's the last round of the day, and Reid Duke is hoping it is not the last round of his tournament. There you see Reid Duke. He is finalist. Started his year off as the finalist at the World Championships. Okay. Right now, this is, he's playing for keep his tournament life against Kyle Boggemes. Kyle, who was a finalist at Pro Tour San Diego.
Yeah,
a couple years back.
Grand Prix Cincinnati. I believe that's how I got this invite.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're on the court.
Reid's on the black-white mid-range deck that a lot of Pantheon has run. It's funny, a lot of people looked at M15 and they said, the card that Black Devotion gets? It gets Sign in Blood. Right. Pantheon looked at M15 and said, no. What it gets is Caves of Koilos.
Caves of Koilos you heard some of the real theorists of Standard talk about the implications of that card.
Yeah, the implications are you take your Black Devotion deck and you put in Blood Barons, an Obsidian, a couple of Elspeths, and some sideboard cards as well. They even have Banishing Light in the main.
Yeah. Kyle Boggemes is playing, he's just going old school mono Black Devotion, leads with a Mutavault. He's going to get, not getting in for 2 here. He's going to make a rat.
Yeah, this is mono black, 2 Sign in Blood, some Lifebane zombies, Pack Rats, Thoughtseizes. The gang is all here.
Underworld Connections, Grey Merchants.
Yeah, there is, the couple of Sign in Bloods is the new deck. There's an Urborg amongst the mana. 2 fetch lands. This is the same mono black deck that has had the target on its forehead for 6-9 months now.
And like I said, Kyle started this tournament out 0-3 in draft. I saw him after the round. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, not good.
So he's 4-0 constructed then.
Well, he has a 4th loss, so he's
3-1.
He's 3-1
right.
constructed.
Yeah, these guys are 3 and 4.
So I see a scry from Reid Duke. I like it. Third land untapped for Kyle. Rat mana.
Other matches in feature match area, by the way, we do have Owen and we do have Huey. So the entire Peach Garden Oath is here, but they did not get paired against each other. So Zach Jesse has the King of the Hill match against Owen Turtenwald.
So that means you have someone on each Peach Garden Oath member on each table?
What, you're telling me that Paulo Vitor Damonderosa is a Peach Garden Oath member?
No, maybe not. Who's he playing?
Zvi.
Who's peachier?
Attacking for 2.
I think Zvi's the peachier, Peach Gardenier.
Okay, so we see play the third land, make a rat, and attack for 2, discarding Lifebane Zombie.
It's funny,
discarding Lifebane Zombie is a tough call against the black-white decks.
Right. Yeah, no, he sees that white mana. I'm sure he knows it means Blood Baron. He's probably also I'm sure people are talking about what Pantheon's been running.
Sure, and then you see a whip of Erebos. Maybe he's planning on whipping that Lifebane Zombie back into play a couple times from now.
He probably does. It's funny, even if Reid loses this, though, he's eliminated from Player of the Year, but Rich was just talking about the fact that there's other players still alive, and really it's still Jeremy Desani versus the Peach Garden Oath.
Right.
Because, Owen on 7-0 is probably in best position to make a run right now.
And, well, Huey can't make a run. He can make a run.
Huey is actually eliminated with Jeremy? Yeah, okay.
But he can make a run at closing out Worlds.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
because a lot of people in that 44-point pack
for the At-Large
berths, they've all stumbled out of the gate here.
Right. Josh McClain is not going to make day 2. Ben Stark was on 3-4. A lot of the guys in that tie on 44 pro points are not doing particularly well.
Yeah. All right. Thoughtseize takes a rat. Bile Blight gets rid of the other rats, and we're back to parity here.
There is a Blood Baron in Reid's hand. Also an Obsidian.
We're going to see a whip here. Yeah, the distinctive laugh
you
from
can
Steve
tell
Moshowitz
is in the feature match area, yes.
Okay, Underworld Connections on a swamp. There you get a look at Underworld Connections. Card that took a while for people to find. It took people almost a full year. We didn't really see that card get hit tournament play until really kind of like a year after it was
No, that's
released.
fair. It helped that Thoughtseize got printed. And Thoughtseize really helped that deck.
Yeah.
Stitch everything together a lot. And yeah.
So Lifebane Zombie comes down for Reid Duke. Whip, Bile Blight, and Gray Merchant of Asphodel.
Cards. 3.
Reid does have the land to go land Blood Baron next turn. I guess 2 Mutavaults can block it. So Kyle's not.
You keep trying to trick me into that play, Randy.
Pardon?
You keep trying to trick me into. I feel like you're setting me up for some later match where I'm going to put my 2 Mutavaults in front of your Blood Baron. I'm not going to do it. Kyle draws a card with Underworld Connections.
It's a very risky line, but it's better than not having any line at all.
Sure.
You need 2 cards.
I mean, Kyle's decision to play the Underworld Connections last turn looked really good from a mana efficiency and card advantage point of view, but it means that he cannot whip the Lifebane in time to get the Blood Baron.
And an Obsidian.
Well, presumably Reid's going to play Blood Baron here, and then he can whip and get the Obsidian. But I mean, once they play the Blood Baron, are you still, on how high a priority do you think Lifebane Zombie is here for Kyle? Protection from black, so good.
Yeah. Hey, protection from everything in your deck. You have
Except the Mutavaults.
Except the Mutavault. Well, I mean, you're talking me into it.
Does he have much removal? Does he have? He has 2 Devour Flesh?
He does have 2 Devour Flesh.
Though he's got to go through a Lifebane Zombie first. Wow, Curse of the King of the Hill is apparently continuing, and Owen is now down a game.
I suspect it's the hand.
I'll go to 12.
He's not going to whip back the Lifebane Zombie.
Bogamies, 12, 16.
He's trying to stitch together multiple removal spells to deal with Lifebane Zombie, I think. Oh, he had one in his hand. Fair enough. That'll work. A sigh of relief from Kyle. Oh, wow.
That still does not deal with the issue.
Right.
At
There's
hand.
still a small... Although, getting to see his hand, though, he sees that there is not a removal spell to blow him out on a Mutavault double block. I mean, Reid can obviously draw one, but you know there wasn't one a turn or 2 ago. Yeah, Reid comes crunching in while he can. Surely Lifebane Zombie trades. It's just a question of what it trades with, I guess.
Yeah, you're going to trade with Mutavault. You want
Sure.
to.
True. So I basically take 4 and you gain 4. So 20 to 8.
You just want to reduce his.
Do math here.
I mean, you're trying to
access
set up
some
Devour
spells.
Flesh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is, I think, also, I mean, gaining some life from Whip and trading. All right, now Reid gets to see exactly what he's playing around.
Right. Well, he gets the Bile Blight. Those 2. If he can
Yep.
draw a Devour Flesh, he's actually very much alive.
Yeah, Bile Blight will hit both the zombies for
Got it.
sure.
Your turn.
He gets, what, 2 turns to come up with an answer to Blood Baron?
Yep.
Plus, again, the Mutavault line is still there. Gray Merchants can gain him some life. I actually like Kyle's position in this game, despite the Blood Baron.
Gray Merchant for 6. 14. 14. Yep.
Bogamies, 14, Duke, 14.
He's not going to Bile Blight this turn?
I'll Bile Blight those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an Urborg in play.
Yeah, yeah.
I missed the Urborg.
Kyle's
10,
going to fall to 10.
Yeah, Reid's pretty much all in on that Blood Baron at this point. This is why he's playing the deck that he's playing.
Bogamies, 10, Duke, 18.
Banishing Light your whip. Oh, okay.
That's not bad. Vanishing Light, huh?
Enchantments, pro-white and pro-black creatures. Really can't deal with your deck.
Yeah, they're set up for this match. I mean, this is the match. This is why
Right,
they built the deck
this
the way
this
they
was
built
like
it.
sort of public enemy number 1.
Yes.
Coming into this tournament, right?
There
This is
hasn't
the
been as
deck.
much of it running around as I was expecting. Like we
No.
talked about the top decks. There's a lot of red decks running around. Blue-white control is doing well. Some of the Pantheon is doing well with this deck, which is black-white. I mean, sort of like public enemy number 1.
See-
But the straightforward, the classic black devotion hasn't actually been on camera all
Yeah.
that much.
We've seen Neil Reeves playing mono blue.
Yep.
I'll go to 9.
Bogamies, 9, Duke, 18.
Scry.
Kyle digging for Devour Flush.
Oh, he does it. Looks like he found another Gray Merchant.
He had that when Reid Life Made Zombie did.
Oh, okay.
He also got another Underworld connection, so I think that if he had scryed and seen Devour Flesh, he would have been playing an Underworld Connections. Oh, Demon, okay. He can't race Blood Baron, can he, without killing it?
2 cards, right? Yes.
It's like an Underworld Connections for Duke.
Yeah.
Vaults.
What do you think about Reid's decision to go with Ice Age basic lands? He's clearly done it on purpose. Both the plains and the swamp are Ice Age.
I mean, they're not the most attractive lands.
But they're not the ugliest either.
They're not the ugliest.
They're like the ugliest black
They're,
border.
they're like replacement level ugly.
They might be the ugliest black border basics.
So Underworld Connections, draw a card for Reid.
Duke, 13.
Goes 13. He goes 13, but can get to 17. But takes a big hit back.
Yeah, he knows about the Gray Merchant too. So what's he's taking 8, and then the Gray Merchant hits for 2, 4, 6, 8. He's taking like 16. Any black pip beats him.
17, 5.
Bogamies 5.
You can also activate Mutavaults here, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, is Reid just dead?
Well, he can always sacrifice the Blood Baron to.
To tap the demon? He
To tap
kind of
the
has
demon.
to, doesn't he? I mean, if he just goes Underworld Connections, Gray Merchant, if he goes attack, that is 8 damage if Reid doesn't sack his Blood Baron. What's Reid going to do for B? There's not a 1-mana removal spell that Kyle needs to play around. He can just play an Underworld Connection for 2 more black pips, and then play Gray Merchant, and it drains 10.
Right. And he's in a corner where he doesn't really have a ton of options.
I
but
mean, he
to
can
go
draw a
for it.
card with Underworld Connections. Like, he's going to play the Gray Merchant this turn.
So he goes to 4.
Are you a Devour Flesh?
Bogamies 4.
You
Still
almost don't want the
can-
Devour Flesh at this point.
Okay, he's going to activate Mutavault. Now he still
Yes.
doesn't need... Yeah, and
There goes Blood Baron.
didn't even need to play the Underworld Connections. Mutavault is good enough. Reid sees this, knows about the Gray Merchant, realizes, wow, yeah, you don't need to draw Devour Flesh if you can threaten to kill your opponent and make them sack Blood Baron to tap
to
the
12.
demon.
Go.
Wow, what can Reid draw?
Bogamies 12.
Really,
No.
I don't know that there's much he can draw here.
Thought Reid had his back against the wall when the match started.
Bogamies 12.
Now he's down to his last game.
Go.
Says go. Kyle says,
11.
okay. I was like, I don't know. You're Reid Duke. I'm going to draw a card here.
Activate some Mutavaults, right? I guess 2 Mutavaults could run into Bile Blight. He kind of
Actually, he's
thought
just going to
seize.
Thoughtseize him and say, what do you have?
Yeah, Reid has a sideboard to pick up, I believe. Yeah, he's thinking about whether to concede or whether to show him his hand.
Good game.
Yep.
And wow,
Kyle Boggemes up one game. Again, his three of his 4 losses came in limited. So we're going to be. So we have a promo for you, and then we're going to be back to take a live look in and follow up with some more matches.
Hunt bigger game by playing at a Grand Prix. These open tournaments feature the best players in your region as well as top Magic pros. Upcoming Grand Prix include Portland, Utrecht, Sydney, Kobe, Salt Lake City, Orlando, and Shanghai. Visit wizards.com/Grand Prix for a complete schedule. If you dream of playing on Magic's international stage, head to your country's World Magic Cup qualifiers. These events are held across 3 weekends in August and September, with the winners earning invitations to the World Magic Cup in Nice, France. Visit wizards.com/WMCQ for more information.
All right, and welcome back. We're going to take a look in on the match going on right now between William Jensen at 7-0, playing white-black mid-range against 6-1, Martin Scheinen also playing white-black mid-range. And then, as you can see, a messy board.
Yeah, Martin Scheinin is Spanish. He won a PTQ to get here. Couple of GP top 8s on his resume. 11 Pro Tours on his resume. You know, pretty much a regular on the top tables over the Euro GP circuit.
Where he can often be seen playing his full art Zendikar Swamps alongside his white-bordered revised.
I take back everything bad
Swamps.
I said about Ice Age Basics.
So lots of rats on both sides of the table. Underworld connections on both sides of the table.
Martin Scheinin has a 69% win rate at Grand Prix. 69.5%. That's insane. 2 top 8s, and he won Barcelona in 2011.
That sounds like Paulo Vitor Damarosa in the battle of the most peachiest is up 1 game to nothing.
It's the battle of the least peachiest in the feature match area. It's to see who's the honorary Peach Garden member, so that the feature match area, that's terrible. Yeah, every match is apparently Peach Garden Oath versus. A lot of this white-black.
Yeah, and by the way, there is we were talking about the mono black devotion deck.
Yep.
Zachary Jesse, also playing in the feature match area against Owen Turtenwald, is on mono black devotion as well.
Sure.
So he at 7-0.
And the black-white, I mean, this is obviously a pair of black-whites. So both those decks doing pretty well.
Here comes the Gray Merchant.
Wow, have you seen Zvi's list? Zvi's playing the same mana base as his other Pantheon members with totally different spells. He's a much more aggressive take on the deck, reminiscent of what the Reitzel top 8 Pro Tour Theros
I was going to
was.
say, this looks like Reitzel's Theros deck.
Basically Reitzel's Theros deck. Soldier of the Pantheon, Precinct Captain, Brimaz, etc.
You see Gray Merchant getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 life back from Huey. Strums his fingers on the table, says, yep, that's game.
So the three-man Brotherhood is 0-3?
What's that?
They all lost game 1.
Yeah. That's not looking good. I mean, depending on how that last match plays out, they might have gone 0-4. Okay, now we're peeking in on table B. So this is Zachary Jesse versus Owen.
It's going to be Owen on the right of the screen, right?
It is. See a duress.
That's the side without the 2-pack rats?
Yeah. Activates.
Oh, just in time.
Go ahead.
12 to 13 in terms of life. This is our King of the Hill match. Owen's the current king. Although uneasy lies the crown.
Yeah, there's not a, there was some resemblance between Joffrey and Owen when Owen was younger.
Go. Sure. 9.
Okay, just Gray Merchant, just swinging here. Both players, flicking cards off the top of their deck, looking for something.
Go. 7.
Owen wants that 8-0. Okay, we'll give you an update on this match, but we're ready to go back to our main match between Kyle Boggemes and Reid Duke. Reid Duke down a game and playing for his tournament life.
Okay, you good stuff. Thank you. Scry.
And Reid Duke starts off with a Temple and Scries.
Your turn. Thoughtseize.
And what do we got? Thoughtseize reveals Blood Baron, Erebos, Heroes Downfall, Underworld Connections, and a couple lands. What are you taking there, Randy?
The Blood Baron's got to be the scariest card, right?
It's really how the only way you have to interact with it, right?
Just about. I mean, unless your hand is somehow capable of, yeah. I mean, you're not going to win before the Blood Baron has time to take over.
Well, he does have a Devour Flesh in hand. But too much can go wrong
Yeah.
waiting on that plan to come together.
I mean, you can't really interact with Erebos either.
I'll take Underworld Connections.
Wow, Underworld Connections.
I'm going off the menu.
No, I get it. I mean, it's the card that's going to impact the game first.
Thoughtseize.
So Thoughtseize, you're back. See Sign in
part
Blood,
of it-
Underworld Connections,
Where's the swamp?
Thoughtseize.
Where's the second swamp?
Oh, yeah. See a lot of land. I mean, a lot of spells, no land.
I know.
Yeah.
Could be an interesting game.
Yeah. Drew that, obviously.
So Reed's probably looking at Sign in Blood or Thoughtseize. I mean, Thoughtseize is the only card he can cast right now, and Sign in Blood is the best card if he draws a swamp. I would... Wow, that's a tough call between those two. I'm really tempted by the Sign in Blood here. But I mean, then if he draws land, it just undoes
Okay, I'll take
everything.
Thoughtseize.
Yeah, okay. Thoughtseize
Yep.
seems fine.
Turn.
Man, please. Oh, God, I did it.
Wow. Like a pro.
And so does he make a pack right here, or does he just go right to Sign in Blood?
I think he signed his blood.
Blood myself. 16. Go ahead.
So Urborg from Reid Duke. Did we not find a third land?
Doesn't look like it. None of Thoughtseize, though. Sign in Blood was the Cynic's choice for the M15 card that would put the most copies in the top 8. We'll see how that plays out. For anyone who didn't think the format would be affected at all, I gotta think it'll be an enemy pain land at this point.
Yes.
I mean, it could be Rabble
It
Master.
could be Rabble Master.
Could also
absolutely.
be Case of Koilos.
You gotta just keep. What do you take here? Hero's Downfall, probably not the card you want to take. Demon, Erebos.
The Blood Baron is still a gigantic pain in the neck.
It's pretty far off, though.
Yeah, Reed's only on 3 land. I mean, Erebos is the card drawing that's here. Hero's Downfall is just going to trade with something. Is Kyle holding a Demon Answer?
He does take
Takes
Erebos.
And I'll duress the downfall. Go ahead.
Oh, and he had a duress. Wow. So he left him with the Blood Baron and the Desecration Demon.
16.
And Reed can also top deck land like a champ. It seems fair, right?
Yeah, that seems
returning the
perfectly
favor.
reasonable.
Go.
He Devour Flesh is the
23,
demon.
14.
Yep.
Duress.
Yep.
The cards these decks both have sideboarded very similarly. Duress sees Underworld Connections, Bile Blight. Gotta look at cards it can take. He's gonna take the Underworld Connections.
Okay.
Return.
Go.
So Pack Rat, no third land for Kyle Boggemes. Land,
Go.
Wow.
Hellbent, Blood Baron.
That worked.
Go. We saw Kyle work around the Blood Baron last game, but
Yeah, this time he's pinched on lands rather than milking an Underworld Connections. No Mutavault for Devour Flesh defense, so
Go.
any Devour Flesh is good. In fact, either player's Devour Flesh will do. I'm not sure Reed runs them in the white version of the list.
3 cards.
do you
right?
run any sweepers?
No, you can't Banishing Light it. That's white, obviously.
Yep. 10-26.
Go.
Kyle's on a 2.5 turn clock.
Reid does run to 2 Devour Flush.
Attacks up. 3.
No blocks.
Okay. No effects.
And no Bile Blade, respectively.
Wild Blade. Yep.
So the top deck
Take
Bile Blade
1.
takes care of the Spectre. And the Spectre
Reid
maybe
says-
drawing a Devour Flesh off the top.
Reid says,
Another one. Go ahead.
you can draw your own Devour Flesh. You're not drawing mine.
Yep.
29,
29.
6.
Yep.
Go.
Mutavault. Devour Flesh doesn't work
Yeah,
anymore.
Mutavault, yeah, Devour Flesh is no longer online.
That should just about do it.
Attack trigger.
27.
Yes. A land.
Land's still good, yeah. He's obliged to block the Mutavault should it attack, although it probably won't.
Go.
Sure, Demon.
I mean, he's got a pretty big Gray Merchant in him next turn.
If he comes up with a land. Oh. Not anymore, he doesn't. Hard to top deck. Well, he can, in theory,
He has
top
two.
deck.
He has 2 shots to top deck the combo.
Well, he has to
Gray
get the Gray Merchant from his own deck,
Okay.
because Reid doesn't play them. He has to get the Gray Merchant from his own top deck and the land from Reid's.
Yep. 229.
Devour Flesh is no longer good enough. I think that's what has to happen, right? Well, that was a swamp.
No, he can't even get his own Blood Baron from Reid.
Doesn't have time to gain any life. I mean, he's going to wind up attacking just to see what's there.
Attacks up. Trigger demon.
Sure, no effects.
8 trigger. 21.
21.
There's
Man.
Close. Close,
It's an
but
interesting one.
wow.
we have a new King of the Hill.
All
day.
All falls to 7-1.
8 rounds, 7
Zachary
different
Jesse
kings.
playing, I think, in his maybe his
Fifth, I think.
fifth Pro
I looked
Tour.
it up. Yeah, he has
fifth
no
Pro Tour. No notable finishes.
right, no Grand Prix top 8s,
Yeah.
no big Pro Tour finishes, but a little bit of Pro Tour experience.
Yeah.
Won a PTQ to get here.
Yeah.
Ran the table, 8-0,
Yeah.
taking out Owen Turtle on the last round.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal.
Certainly not going to text everyone I know as soon as I'm past the velvet ropes. So
Yeah,
he
Kyle's
still has.
Kyle's just bluffing. Like,
Well, no, he has. I mean, he has a chump block with Mutavault here, right?
oh, sure, he does. You're right.
I don't know that does it.
Meanwhile, Peach Garden Oath is finally on the table with a game win. Huey got there. William Jensen evens his match at 1 apiece. Reid looking pretty good to even this one at 1 apiece, too.
And there's a pack rat for
I'll
Reid.
make a pack rat in the turn.
Makes a pack rat. What is it gonna be? I mean, at this point, if he hits a Devour Flush somehow, he has to do it on himself.
Sure. Yeah, he can devour his own demon.
Okay, no effects.
Let's see who else. Yeah, just these guys for 8 trigger.
So I go to 17, right?
Yes.
There's a swamp. Another Mutavault.
Jeremy Desani is not human. He won his match this round. 7-1. He's like, yeah, you guys keep talking about all these hypothetical scenarios where people can leapfrog me. How about I just make the top 8?
How about the hypothetical scenario where I lose?
Right.
It's highly hypothetical. Kyle just keeps feeling like he's so. I'm so close here.
Yeah. Man, if he'd been able to sneak that Blood Baron into play. But he's just been obliged to spend his mana making Mutavault chump blockers.
So, yep, more of same.
Yep. 21.
I mean, if he draws a Gray Merchant,
Yeah.
21 to 2, right? Yep.
he's already
He has to
got
keep
the
drawing
land.
land, too. Does he have?
He's got a land tucked away under the
Oh, got it. Yeah. Gray Merchant's
under
pretty
the
good.
Night Veil Spectre.
Gray Merchant is 1, 2,
Make
3.
a back route on the turn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Buys 2 turns. And does 10 damage. And he's been hitting for like 8 in the air. Yeah, Gray Merchant is...
Attacks up, trigger demon.
Yeah, Reid has to start thinking about tapping that demon.
Scary.
No effects.
But
Not yet.
so if Kyle has drawn a Gray Merchant, he attacks with everybody here, right? And that's what Kyle's trying to do, a little math here. Gonna send in one rat. Scratches his head, rubs his chin. I believe Reid Duke's just been holding his breath for a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, Reid has pack rats that he can, in theory, trade for Kyle's pack rats. But starts to bring Devour Flesh into play if he does that. I mean, he can discard his card to make a rat. He can activate Mutavault.
3/3.
He can have 3/3 rats.
11 here.
Kyle can get his rats to 4/4, but if he does that, then he can't deal with Blood Baron. I mean, I still think Reid is in decent shape here. It's just Gray Merchant that he really has to worry about.
Kyle needs to have drawn a card.
Right.
But again, he still gets
take
to look at a
11.
card.
Yeah, Reid's just taking 11.
So I might activate the
No
pack
blocks.
rat.
Or you might activate the pack rat. That's not good.
Yeah, that's fine. So you go to 10.
If you're activating the pack rat, you're dead.
There's a
Wow,
Bile
right.
Blight.
That doesn't deal with Blood Baron. He's still on 2.
Land.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. I don't know how.
Make a rat.
I don't think Kyle can do anything from here.
Unless he has Devour Flesh for his
himself?
own demon.
The fact that he said, "Oh, I might make a pack rat," and then didn't. Do you think that was a reverse tell?
Double reverse tell.
Inconceivable.
I mean, maybe he just thinks maybe I can get Reid to not attack with his Blood Baron somehow. He's like, well, in fact, I'm just going to activate my Mutavault.
Yeah,
There
no,
we
he's
go.
got nothing. Kyle is proven remarkably resilient at fighting against the Blood Baron.
Yeah,
Like, they splashed
Wild.
a whole color just to be able to wreck Black Devotion with Blood Baron. And
Yeah.
Kyle's like, 1-1 against it. I almost got that second game. I just needed to draw a card.
yeah, but that game was
He had like 10 draws at 6 outs.
very close.
Really was. One Gray Merchant would have swung it.
Yeah, I think he wins that on the Gray Merchant.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And he had a couple turns where he would have also won it on a Devour Flesh.
Right. Had to use a Devour Flesh early on the demon. But
Right.
okay, so we're looking in on table. This is the match between Zvi Moshowitz and Paulo Vitor Damadurosa, a pair of Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Two of the game's greatest players.
Two of the greatest deck builders, too.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, this is the Pantheon deck building game trust, right? Brain trust.
Pantheon versus Fireball.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's Pantheon.
Paulo's Channel Fireball.
Oh,
player.
Paulo. I was thinking it was Sam Black for a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry. Why was I thinking? I was looking at the top of his head, and I convinced myself it was Sam Black. My apologies.
Okay, here comes a detention sphere.
Too many years of trying to judge people by their hands.
Yeah.
Paulo has Sam's hands. That's my problem.
So Detention Sphere takes out Demon. Jace replaces Jace. And Brimaz can only do minimal harm
You
here.
just replaced the Jason plus it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you see Zvi with a very different take on the black-white.
Yeah.
Brimaz, a bunch of soldier tokens, preeminent captain, same mana base, very different spell set.
Preeminent captain. Precinct captain.
Precinct captain.
Preeminent captain is
That
would
would
be
have
very
been
exciting.
saucy, yeah.
He's like, no one told me.
Precinct captain. Sorry to scare you.
Roger, attack Jason. Okay.
Okay, Brimaz attacks Jace. Mutavault puts on the Secret Service sunglasses, jumps in the way.
And
And Brimaz down.
4. Yeah.
And again, we see that Jace holding off an army of tokens.
Paulo is 5-1-1 at this point in the tournament. Zvi is 5-2. So they're both had good days so far.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Okay, Johnny Caller, the Pride.
Six wins and feel a lot better overnight. Feel a lot better about their chances tomorrow with an extra loss to give.
Puts a counter on Precinct Captain.
Go ahead.
And says go. Yeah. And you hear the anticipatory sigh
It's like
of a Sphinx's Revelations. He's like, I've played this game enough. I know you're going to cast Sphinx's Revelation here. I've been playing for a long time.
6 again?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Paulo's up a game too, so Paulo looking pretty good here.
Yeah.
Vanishing Light on the Planeswalker. Getcha.
3. Well,
Is there an emblem in play? Is that a 3/3?
I didn't play one. Did I play one?
I don't think so.
3/3 token?
Yeah.
And there's an Aetherling. Well,
Yep.
I think we see where this game is going.
Yep.
In the meantime, we're going to come back to our main
the
match.
ultimate.
Reid Duke, Game 3 against Kyle Boggemes. Kyle leads off with a Temple of Mystery. I'm sorry, Temple of Deceit. And
You see the scry card sitting by his deck. He's debating.
yeah,
Bottom. Your turn.
yeah, when you leave it there for that long, you're generally putting it on the bottom. Yeah, Paulo managed to win that game shortly after playing the Aetherling.
Game 3 here. Reid Duke must win this game if he wants to continue his quest for Player of the Year.
We have our second 8-0 player,
Got it.
William Jensen,
Huey.
8-0. Felt he needed a top 25 at this event if he was going to make it into the the World
World's-
Championship.
Yeah.
So I
On.
need a top 25. He's in great
So far,
shape.
so good.
So pack rat for Kyle Boggemes.
And it will be exactly 2 8-0s overnight.
Yeah. And Reid Duke plays a Thoughtseize before he plays his second land. And sees a Thoughtseize, a Bioblight, a Hero's Downfall, and a Desecration Demon.
Feels like you have an elf buff in your deck.
After the next revelation, that's when you can stop playing cards. Right?
The dueling laughs of Jacob Van Lunen and Zvi Moshowitz in the background.
Huey looks pretty happy with his 8-0. Some high fives are being
Yeah, it goes around
exchanged.
for some high fives. Yeah. Zach's like, I'd like a high five.
I'm going to take your demon.
Okay, Demon is the card he takes.
18.
Yep.
I had a second. Okay.
Buses.
All right, it's good for the goose. So, Bile Blight, Devour Flesh, Pack Rat, 3 lands for Duke. You have to take the Bile Blight here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the reason why Reid didn't kill the pack rat and gave Kyle the ability to make a second one. Which, of course, Kyle knew.
16. Go ahead.
Strongly suspected.
Yeah. Just plays the second rat. It's cheaper than discarding it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Thoughtseize plus a pack rat, way better than making a pack rat. I mean, getting the Bile Blight to turn was absolutely perfect for Kyle.
One shot at this pack rat.
Okay.
And now he's trading cards for individual copies of pack rat.
Yeah.
That is a tough fight. I mean, you do what you got to do. Yeah, Reid could drown under a swarm of pack rats here.
Kyle's thinking about.
Make one and attack, right? He's just trying to figure out if there's a reason he needs to wait till Reid's end step to make it, or if you should just make it now and get in for 2.
Yep, that's what he's thinking about. He's holding a Bile Blight.
I think you just
A
make the
Hero's
rat.
Downfall and one other card. Looks like a, is that an Urborg? Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, it's easy for us to say because we can see Reid's hand, but on the other hand, Kyle saw it a turn ago.
Make a rat.
Yep. Says, I don't really want to use this
Attack.
Bile Blade on a rat. So.
18, right?
Yep.
It's like, I just got rid of one of those.
They're not going to stop. A year of Magic for Reid. It all comes down to just another Thoughtseize pack rat game.
Game 3. If Reid loses or draws,
Yeah.
he is knocked out of eligibility to play Magic tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Out for the rest of the year.
yeah, he's done.
Of course,
Wow.
the new year starts on Monday.
He's still gonna.
He'll be inside of it.
He'll still be at the World Champion. Well, he'll still be at the World Championship.
Yeah, it's
but-
part of next season.
Yeah. So there's a Thoughtseize.
It's one way to get a rat,
Take down
sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Run out of cards.
12.
Just an Urborg left for Kyle. Kyle's all.
Yeah, he's pretty
All in
much
on
all
the
in on
rats.
this pack rat plan. He needs. There's Devour Flesh. Yeah, Reid seems like his plan is to trade card for card until he draws a Bile Blight
Or
2
right.
cards left.
Yep.
or a Blood Baron.
Yeah.
So 12, 20.
Yep.
Turn.
There's only one way to play this.
I agree. Totally agree.
Duke, by the way, holding a pack rat.
Yeah, Kyle drew Devour Flesh, but whatever.
Discard your board.
Yeah, it means you discard the Urborg. You were going to discard the one Reid knew
Attack
about
for 2.
anyway.
10. Go.
So land pack rat.
Reid's at 1 card, right?
Yes, he is.
So, can he? His Mutavaults let him win this pack rat fight?
Not. Well, depends on what he wants to do. What do you do if Kyle attacks here with 2 pack rats?
Take 6.
Seems like a reasonable
Take 6, make a land, make a rat, untap, have the ability to activate 2 Mutavaults.
Yeah, the 2 Mutavaults is really the problem because the Devour Flesh could.
But then he's not making a rat.
Right. Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you take 6. I mean, if he makes a rat, Kyle will just make a rat, and his 3/3s beat up Reid's 2/2s.
No box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take 6 and then try to win the rat fight with your Mutavaults. Kyle has to decide whether to make a rat now. I think the answer is yes. I mean, Reid's play is pretty telegraphed. Get in the damage while you can. Right?
Right. Maybe you draw land, Gray Merchant for the win. Okay, discards, discards
take
the
6
Power
down to
Flash.
4. Yep. So 4 to 20.
Yes.
Go. Make a rat.
Yep.
And so Duke's empty-handed now. Draws a card for the turn, though.
Kind of has to play defense, right? He's on 4. Kyle's on 20.
Yeah, but he can get his rats to 5/5 this turn.
Right. But Kyle can get his to 4/4. So Reid's going to be obliged to block with a Mutavault. Does this plan not work? No, he can make 3. He can make 3 5/5s, which can block all of the attacking rats.
Right.
The 4th one can't attack. Which I don't know that Kyle wants to attack into that because he can
No.
see it just as easily as we can. Mine are going to be 4/4s. You're going to make a rat, have each Mutavault activate itself, and have 3 5/5s blocking my 3 4/4s. That is bad for
Yes,
Kyle Boggemes.
that is not good.
So Kyle is just going to have to say go, right? I mean, I guess you can play 4th land. I guess. Maybe not. There's probably not much edge there. Oh, I think Kyle's holding a Mutavault. That's interesting. If Kyle's holding a Mutavault,
He is. So now
then he
suddenly
can play the Mutavault and make a rat, and now it's 5/5s versus 5/5s. What does that do? Means all 3 of Reid's pack rats die. Kyle will have the last pack rat standing. Yeah, you play Mutavaults, activate it, make a rat. Now you have 3 attacking 5/5s. Reid's on 4. He's obliged to block all 3 of the attackers. So 3 rats annihilate with 3 rats, and the only rat left is Kyle's.
Right, which is the one he just makes, and that's
Yeah.
and that's what he's trying to work out here.
Yeah. That Mutavault. I mean, we thought Reid was on the Mutavault plan, but I think Kyle just top decked. I think Kyle just top decked the win. I mean, he has to find it.
Certainly not to win. The way out. There you go.
There you go. Yep. I mean, we're going to go to a board where both players are empty-handed, and it's Pack Rat Mutavault versus 2 Mutavaults. I like Kyle's odds. I don't think Reid has any decisions here. He's obliged to block all 3. I mean, he can. I don't see how chump blocking with Mutavaults is better than trading a Pack
Right,
Rat.
with Kyle, especially with Kyle at 20 here.
Right. The thing is, he can't. He
can't
can't
afford to
create.
let Kyle, yeah.
He can't create an untapped Mutavault unless he declines to get an opportunity to make a rat, in which case they're all just losing the fights again. I think Reid's play is forced.
Make a rat. Block.
There you go.
Well, he's going to wait for Kyle to make a rat and confirm that. Right. They get to do the little dance. Are you going to make a rat? I don't know. Are you going to make a rat? I mean, yeah, Kyle's going to activate Mutavault, which is all he needs to do to win the fight. Now it's 4/4 to 3/3. Reid says, I can do that too. 4/4 to 4/4. 5/5 to 4/4. 5/5 to 5/5.
Yep.
So we trade off.
Trade. But Kyle has a rat left.
Reid draws for his turn.
Removal spell would be gigantic there. I think he drew a thought
He drew a
seize
Thoughtseize.
versus an empty-handed opponent.
It's funny though. You joked earlier about the Thoughtseize
No, the Thoughtseize.
taking away.
No, that was
rats.
what he discarded to the rat. Sorry. What
Ah.
did he draw? Our spotter doesn't know what he drew. Reid drew it too quick and put it face down. Yeah, the Thoughtseize is what he discarded last turn. Here, this is the only thing going on right now.
4 to 20.
This is for Reid Duke's tournament life here. #1 ranked player in the top 25 coming into this event.
I mean, it's a fine season either way. He's still going to Worlds. He's still platinum.
He's like platinum and a half.
But like you do not get many opportunities to play for Player of the Year. Underworld Connections was the draw. That's not bad.
Good.
Interesting. So what happens here? He's also got the ability to activate a Mutavault, so Kyle can attack with his rat, make a rat activate the Mutavault, and that means he's got a 3/3 attacker.
Which means you can't use the Underworld.
Which means you can't use the Underworld Connections. I mean, you can activate Mutavault and Jump Block if you want to. But I mean, I think Kyle just needs to keep on the pack rat plan. And he does. Now it's just a question of whether Reid wants to activate Mutavault and try blocking with it. It won't work, but he preserves 4 points of life, which means he gets to draw a card next turn with his Underworld Connections.
All right, I have no blocks.
Instead, he's going to preserve his Mutavault.
And animate the ball.
Yep,
Okay.
there you go.
Go.
Reid
One
goes to
last
1.
point of life. Needs to be a good draw phase.
Reid going to go out in style on his own Underworld Connections.
Couldn't see what that was. Our spotter says it was Erebos.
Kyle Boggemes, the Pro Tour San Diego finalist, got back onto the Pro Tour via the GPs this year.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Won the whole thing. Now Kyle has the what can you have?
He has 2 Mutavaults. That's what he's got. But, you can just activate your Mutavault. Right, this is also Kyle's tournament life here.
Yeah, absolutely true. Kyle needs the top 25 to get an invite to Hawaii. Love to, like you keep saying, you get some pro points, you get to silver, you parlay that into gold.
Certainly knows he can succeed on the Pro Tour based on his past success.
Yep.
Yeah,
been away from the game for a couple of years.
So you start to, but in these moments, you're like, what could he have?
Right.
What could it be? What am I missing?
Right.
One of these players will not be playing Magic on the Pro Tour tomorrow. Looks like it should be Reid Duke. Yeah.
2 minutes on the clock.
Okay. The judges telling Kyle is like, oh, you have to do something here.
Bob Maher just picked up a second loss to Pierre Mondon. Still 6-2. Pretty good for Bob.
2 rats go into the red zone.
Yeah. Reid is obliged to block both of them with just 1 point of life. Block.
Animate balls.
Yeah, they're 3/3s.
Yep. Go.
Reid needs to draw Bioblade.
Yes.
Does
there
not.
you go.
Wow.
Kyle Boggemes through
Yeah,
to
it was
day
really good
2.
match.
Reid Duke will not
Be
be
player of the
player
year.
of the year.
Player of the year quest over.
Well, player of the year quest
Like that
over
deck.
For Reid.
for Reid.
Yeah, thanks.
He will be a very good cheerleader, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Huey is 8-0.
Huey's 8-0 and going for a top 25, so he can all but lock up his berth.
Yeah.
He was what, 3 or 4 points?
He was 1 point below
He was
the
1
bubble.
point below
But
the
the
bubble,
bubble
yeah.
had 5 guys on
Right.
it. So he needs
So
to
he had to
leapfrog
multiple people.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to leapfrog 3 of those guys, which is pretty plausible, but hey, that's the story for tomorrow.
Right. Well, actually, I'm sure Rich has been working on some of the ramifications of this.
Exactly.
So we're going to send it back to the news desk. We're going to get ready for tomorrow. We have 8 more rounds of Pro Tour tomorrow. Don't miss any of it. Unless you're Reid Duke, you could sleep in. So let's send it back to the news desk.
2x minus 3y 53.2. Oh, hi everyone. Yeah, well that got complex fast, but for Reid Duke, really simple, and his legions of fans out there, 3-5, not back tomorrow. Kyle Boggemes 4-4. Wow, Jeremy Desani one stage closer to Player of the Year. Now, it's not secure because Stanislav Sivka comes in to day 2. He played in the last round, but he does end up at 5-3, so away behind Jeremy, who is on 7-1. But behind all of those are not really interested in Player of the Year, just interested in a first Pro Tour top 8 at the end of tomorrow, is the gentleman sitting over on the comfortable chairs with Marshall Sutcliffe. It's time to meet one of your 8-0s here at Magic Pro Tour 2015. Let's send it over to Marshall and Zach Jesse.
Hey guys, welcome to the Easy Chairs where I have Zach Jesse. Welcome.
Hello.
Zach, you've been playing Magic for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been playing way back when. My old decks were Wild Growths and Ley Druids. So
That's so you are old school.
Yeah.
Now, you had a bit of a busy week.
Yeah.
Leading up to the Pro Tour. Talk to us about your Pro Tour prep or whatever you did instead.
So my Pro Tour preparation was studying for the Virginia State Bar, which was this past Tuesday and Wednesday. So I literally...
That doesn't sound like sideboard tech to me.
No, it's not. I had to concentrate as hard as I could on not being distracted. And so that ended Wednesday. I hopped on a plane Thursday, and now I'm here.
Incredible. Now, so how did you compensate for that? Like, I want to talk through a little bit of your day one here. First off, congratulations. I mean, being undefeated at day one of the PT is a big deal. Not too many people get to do it for each Pro Tour. Talk to us about your draft. How did your draft go?
So I knew going in, I'd only drafted M15 a handful of times, but I knew I wanted to be red, and preferably blue-red. I know a lot of people aren't too keen on blue, but I think it pairs really well with the red, both in terms of like tempo-y type stuff like Frostlinks.
Oh yeah.
And it sort of has a artifact sub-theme to it. My deck was not very good, but it did have Burning Anger, and Burning Anger did kill a lot of people.
That's a good card.
Yeah, and I put it on 5-power creatures frequently.
Okay,
So
and just started mowing things down.
yeah, nothing survived.
Right, and in fact, none of your opponents survived either. You managed to 3-0.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so that brings us to the constructed portion. Now, I've been chatting with you over here for a while, and I gather that you're a bit of a specialist at this format.
No, I wouldn't call me a specialist.
Okay,
but,
how would you describe yourself, and what deck did you play?
I played mono black, and I played mono black more or less for every standard tournament I've been in recently.
But you're still not a specialist.
No, I don't play frequently enough to call myself a specialist.
Understood.
But I think I've won every tournament I've entered with it, so which is...
But you're still not a specialist.
No.
You won every tournament
Yeah.
that you've played in it. Like
Yes.
PTQs,
Yep,
you played
and
in Star City.
Star City Open, yep.
And you won the Open, you won the PTQs with it too.
Yes, so...
Can I just call him a specialist? I'm
If
just
you
gonna
want.
close it. So how did it? So when it came time to bring it here, I mean, it's a known quantity. Right?
Yeah.
People knew that Mono Black's a great deck. You have to understand, of course, when you bring it in, that people are going to be prepared for it. What steps did you take to try to get one step ahead?
So I think there are two things. The first is the Nightfell Spectre and Lifebane Zombie dilemma.
Yeah.
Which is, I think a lot of people for a long time were on Lifebane Zombie. And it's a great card, but I expected a lot of mono black and mono blue. And in those two matchups, I think Nightveil Spectre is significantly better. It's also a lot better in the aggro decks with a lot of 2/2s, because a 2/3 against a bunch of 2/2s is going to rule the day. So I ran a 3-2 split of 3 Nightveil, 2 Lifebane Zombies, because I still think they're very good. And I have the remaining 2 in the board that I can bring in against, green decks or white decks.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I've seen a deck with a 3-2 split. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I knew I wanted a couple of both. I'm not playing any Sign and Bloods. And I think that the really interesting part is going to be my sideboard, which is just a medley of bizarre cards.
That doesn't sound very good. Like you wouldn't call it like a well-tightened sideboard.
No,
it's
not at
kind
all.
of, here's some stuff.
Although I will say the one card that I was interested in seeing how it would do, I think performed how it was supposed to perform in this last matchup, Perilous Vault.
Yes.
So I sort of see it as a catch-all, and I brought it in against Owen because he's got Blood Barons and stuff, which are sort of hard to answer. But it's also good against all the Jund Monster Planeswalker decks. So.
Okay. Well, congratulations, man. This is a big start for you. And I mean, you can come in tomorrow looking to dominate, looking to try to crush. I hope that you can get some rest tonight. And I also hope you pass the bar exams, thinking a little bit past the Pro Tour.
I hope
It
so.
sounded like you managed to not get too distracted. And pass the bar exams plus 8-0 day one of the PT. That's a pretty good week.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Why don't we send it back to Rich for a moment? I'm going to bring in a few other people here.
So welcome back. Thanks very much to Zach Jesse. Turns out you don't need to practice at all for Magic tournaments. You just 8-0, but then you do have to pass the law exam first. So I guess it swings and roundabouts. As we know, our other 8-0 player is William Jensen. He's going to join us in just a minute with Marshall. Now, someone we haven't mentioned at all at the news desk today, but we can't keep track of literally everyone. Ben Friedman is up to 7-1. He may well be on table 1 in the morning. He defeated China's Xin Shui to go to 6-2. Ben Friedman 7-1. Congratulations also to Neil Rigby of England. Full disclosure, my best friend in the game. 7-1 at the end of day 1. He defeated Martin User, who falls to 6-2. Greg Orange, he had his first loss in round 7, but he righted the ship to end the day with a win, 7-1. He defeated Israel's Ido Ferran, 6-2. While Patrick Cox, 7-1, that dropped Andre Prost to 5-2-1 overnight. But nonetheless, well in today too. Well, I promised you he would come and talk to us. Here is our other 8-0 player. It's back to Marshall, and he is with Billy Jensen.
Hey guys, welcome back. I found somebody my size. It's like we looked like normal humans sitting in it. Instead of normally I feel like I'm dwarfing the other person. Huey, congratulations. You are 8-0 on day 1 of the PT. Unbelievable start. Talk us through your draft round. How did your draft go?
Pretty good. I started with Hornet Queen, one of the best cards in the set.
Love that card.
Yeah, just it's one of those cards that almost no matter what the board state is, no matter what's happening, you cast it and you win the game.
Yes.
Like I mean, sure.
Even if you're way behind.
Yeah, you have 5 death touch blockers, right? That happened to me today. I won a round where it was like my opponent was attacking with 2 Welkin turns and like 2 2/2s, and I played it, and then he was like, yeah, I guess I'll attack with some stuff, lose some guys.
Yeah.
It's an unreasonable card. I mean, it costs 7, but...
Trying to win the attrition war through a 5-for-1, that's difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I actually got him, he had, what's it called, the charge that gives all your creatures...
Sanctified charge.
Sanctified charge, and I had boarded in Hunter's Ambush. And so...
to combo with your Hornet Queen?
Well, not necessarily, but just to counter the charge. And so that was exciting. Definitely the most exciting moment of my draft.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Now talk to us about Constructed. What deck are you on, and how did your rounds go?
Orzhov mid-range.
Like, was it a stressful day for Huey? Did you have to grind it out against everybody, or was it pretty smooth sailing?
I played some close matches today. You know, a lot of the format is black on black mirrors. In this case, on black-white, I played against a couple mono-black decks and a black-white deck, you know, an opposing black-white deck, and it's like you thought-seize each other back and forth, and then you're like, I had a turn today where my opponent had 4 swamps in play, and he had just thought-seized me and left me with a Devour Flesh, a Deicide, and a land. So I knew his hand because I thought-seized him the previous turn,
Sure.
and it was Liliana, Vess, 2 Devour Flesh, and a Hero's Downfall. So I'm like, well, this is pretty bad for me. Like, I don't have anything. He doesn't have, you know, he's going to play Liliana, and I'm going to fall way behind. So I draw Underworld Connections in my land, draw a card, Thoughtseize Liliana. Like, yeah.
And
so,
now the roles were reversed.
Yeah, and then he's like, I mean, Connections is just,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing, right? Because we're talking about who's being proactive. If he has
Right.
Liliana Vess, he's the one that's being proactive.
Right.
With you, with Connections, now you're just
Exactly.
running it
So
up.
instead of me digging for an answer, somehow I found a threat and an answer in the same turn.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Now, what made you choose to go with black-white for the tournament? Is it because of a good matchup against mono black? Or?
I would say, honestly, for this tournament, I put my faith in Paul Rietzel. He sort of championed the deck on our team. We all played it a bit. I wasn't really planning on playing this deck until a few days ago. You know, we had a lot of stuff in the works, trying new stuff, even though the format's sort of, you know, developed over the past year. It's not super new, but we tried some new things, and Paul ultimately was the first one who said, like, this is the best deck, I'm playing it, and people started falling in line. Certainly, you know, Patrick Chapin had a fairly similar white-black list, but Paul sort of championed the mid-range, and we all just fell in line.
And no regrets?
No, certainly not now.
Right, and you know, I noticed that both you and Owen were over in the feature match area playing for undefeated.
Yeah, Owen lost to
Zach, who we just had.
Zach, who you just had on, and yeah, it would have been cool.
That would have been cool, but still not a bad day one for both of you gentlemen. So that's pretty awesome. Now, what about looking forward to tomorrow? How comfortable you are in the draft format here?
I'm pretty comfortable usually in limited. I mean, you know, obviously I went 3-0 today. I hope I open Hornet Queen.
Comfortable normally in limited. It's like a little understatement.
I hope I open Hornet Queen again.
Yeah,
you know?
make your life easy.
Yeah.
Do you think Hornet Queen's the best? Like, what's the best card for you to open? I mean, I think I've heard Soul of Theros.
I think it's Soul
a
of
lot.
Theros, yeah.
But Hornet Queen's high on the list.
Hornet Queen is really good. I mean, it's probably top, I don't know, 5 or 6. I would have to go through.
Yeah, I know it's hard without
I could
a
be
list.
slightly off. Also, it's rares. You don't compare them that much, but it's up there. I mean, like when you cast that card, you win the game.
Yeah.
Like we talked about. I mean,
for sure. And then leading up to tomorrow, I mean, you've been in this spot more times than most people have.
I have not.
Well, I mean, have you not? Actually, that is interesting too.
My best start ever at a Pro Tour was 6-0, so I'm doing significantly better than my best start.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, what I was referring to, of course, was making the top 8, which you have done more than most people.
Sure, but I haven't done that yet.
Yes, and so what I was going to ask you is, as you look forward to tomorrow, do you start getting your eyes on that prize early, or are you a one match at a time, one play at a time type
I
person?
try to do my best to keep my mind focused on the next match. Ultimately, if you get to a point where there's 3 or 4 rounds to go and you have to start looking ahead because of possibilities of draws or things like that, that's a different story. But at least for rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm just going to play my rounds 9, 10, 11, and 12 and try to win those.
Do you feel like you're due for a top 8? I mean, you came back, you started crushing SCG, then you started crushing GPs. You're kind of, okay, he's back, he's building back. Is it time for you to start dominating on the Pro Tour at the top 8 level?
I would very much like to. I wouldn't say I'm due. I feel like I play well enough that on a good day, I have as good of a chance as anybody to do so. But due is a tough one, like if I earn it, I deserve it.
Yeah, I agree. So let's hope for Huey Jensen fans that tomorrow is such a day. Guys, let's send it back over to Rich.
I saw Billy Jensen come off set from the feature match area just as he went 8-0. I've never seen him excited before. I saw him excited then. Make no mistake, this guy is so competitive and he is in it to win it tomorrow. So is Owen Turtenwald, sitting there at 7-1, but Reid Duke is gone. We have the final standings. By my reckoning, that means it must be time for the end of day wrap.